That's the way to go, man. Because I think of like about like when I first started selling beats, back 10 years ago, 10 and a half years ago, I was in ninth grade. I remember like, and I've told this story a lot of times when people ask how I started, but basically like in my first year of selling beats, I made maybe 200, $250, right? But
Yeah.
it was just something like I absolutely loved. And I remember just like, I don't even know, it was almost like I blinked and 4 years later, I made 30K in a year. Like I just
Mhm.
like I didn't even realize. And I remember like I had a buddy who he like he was just asking me like what I was doing and stuff. And then I told him, I was like, yeah, I've made like 30K. And I like didn't even think about anything. And he was like, dude, that's like serious, man. Like this is like a real thing. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess you're right. And even the same with my YouTube channel. Like I remember like hitting a hundred subscribers and thinking that was crazy, and literally not even noticing again until I hit like 40,000. Like, and dude, I think that's like sometimes that's the way to go. Like I know like, both you and I are, we have so much involved in business, and playing with the numbers is cool, but sometimes, man, if you just keep those blinders up and just honestly just like put your heart into it and don't even care, like you said, you'll like that's what really I think, like 4 years of legit just grinding, not even like caring about any sales, any numbers, like that's what set me up for years down the road, right? Help this thing turn into a decade long business right now.
All right. So, Omito Beats, welcome to the podcast, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
I'm good, man. I'm excited to talk to you. I've been, I've known of you. We've had a couple little, little chats here and there, but I've been a big admirer of what you do, and yeah, I'm excited to just get to sit down and have a conversation with you.
Yeah, man. I think the last time we had like a prolonged conversation, I think was 2 or 3 years ago. It was a while back. And then I know we've had the odd like Instagram message and stuff here and there, but yeah, convo is long overdue, man.
Yeah, no, for sure. And man, lots changed in the last couple years for sure. Things have definitely evolved and grown and
Oh,
all,
definitely.
all that good stuff. So I definitely want to, get into everything, all the cool stuff that you're up to now. But maybe we could just do like the quick, version of kind of what got you into producing, what got you to where you are today.
Yeah, sure thing. So, I started, I guess I came across FL Studio like super, super young. I was in like fifth grade or something. I remember just browsing around on YouTube and finding some video of some guy making some music in FL Studio. So I downloaded it. Uh, Basically, it was like my hobby all throughout grade school. Like instead of video games, Xbox, I was just kind of learning FL Studio. And I posted my beats online, I guess, when I was in ninth grade, and I sold my first beat then. And then legit, it's been 10 and a half years now of of just grinding online, posting beats. I turned 24 this year. My YouTube channel turned 10 years old. Finally got that YouTube plaque way in the way in the
Hey,
background
congrats.
after 10 years. Thanks, man. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think how it's been 10 years, and it's been my full-time gig for a couple years. I've never really had a 9 to 5 job because I started selling beats in ninth grade. But yeah, it's been a decade of posting beats online.
That's awesome, man. Um, yeah, no, that's awesome. And I see like you got a drum kit going now and a little bit in the direction of producers as well. So from what I can see, it seems like your main audience is still rappers and singers selling beats, but you're also venturing into the producer world. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I mean, it's always tough to kind of figure out like your perfect audience. I think what we do, because like
Yeah.
you want to attract like, of course, rappers and singers because they're the ones buying your beats. But then a lot of people on Instagram, they see my content, and even though like I post beat making videos, or if they hear my beats online, even though it's made for rappers with a goal of them purchasing a beat. Other producers kind of find my stuff and they're like, hey, this guy's cool. So it's like my audience is kind of split. Like, I don't know if it's a perfect 50-50, but I mean, I have this audience where I'm trying to figure out, what I can do for them, like kind of thing. So I've put out a few drum kits. I started a second YouTube channel pretty much in the summer where I was posting some tutorial videos, some beat making videos that I've already had over 1,000 subscribers in the past couple months, which was pretty good. But yeah, it's a little bit of a mixed audience, but I'm just trying to figure it all out.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I think basically every producer has some version of that because just like you said, there's
Yeah,
usually we start out because we're trying to sell beats and we're looking for that audience of rappers and singers, and then a lot of times the content is going to attract other producers.
yeah,
And it's tricky, like for me, it was a big decision to decide, first of all, to even go into that world because I was, building Legion Beats for years. And
yeah,
I know that there's something magic about that singular focus where if you're really focusing on one audience and getting them one result, I'm focused on rappers and singers and helping them make the best music, get in front of the most people possible. And that was my whole mission. Everything, our products, our,
yeah,
everything that we set up was for that one thing. And so it took me a long time, even though I always wanted to teach, I always wanted to hang out with producers. I always wanted to build that second business that's now become Midi Money. It took me a long time to pull the trigger. And then even when I did, it was the decision of, hey, do I keep sort of one channel? You know what I mean? Like most producers, what I've seen, they do keep that one channel. It's their name or whatever, and it's got a
yeah,
little bit of both. And I decided to split them out. So I've got two Instagrams, I've got two YouTubes, certainly two email lists. I definitely recommend anybody do that. There's almost
yeah,
no
for sure.
advantage to having one, but it's a tricky thing. It's a tricky thing for sure. Um,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
I was in the same like boat because I've like I mean, I started out on YouTube. Like that's where I started posting my beats. And for the past couple of years, I've kind of moved away from YouTube. Like I focused on Instagram and kind of building up, my list and my own website and stuff like that. But I've always had this goal of coming back to YouTube like with tutorial videos since that's, how I learned, right? Like I learned from watching some guy who he didn't even speak English, but he just showed himself making music and that's how I learned. So it's always been a dream of mine to come back and for a long time like I was kind of like I mean just trying to figure out how to do it, right? Because I don't necessarily want to post content that half my audience isn't going to find useful. So that's why I created a second YouTube channel where it's like only like producer content. My main channel is still beats. My Instagram is almost kind of like a homepage for everything, but no, I feel like it's definitely hard to figure that out.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's a battle. Yeah, and my advice usually when producers ask about that, because I feel like a very large percentage of producers do have aspirations to do some amount of both.
Yeah.
But I think it's so hard to create a profitable, sustainable business, and the foundation of that is figuring out, well, who is that audience? What's the result I'm trying to get them? What's the sales process I'm creating? How am I generating leads? How am I converting them? How am I following up with them and nurturing those leads? All those parts of creating a business. As soon as you start adding another one in there, now it becomes
It's
not just twice as hard, it's like exponentially more difficult because your focus is split. You're creating twice as much stuff. So like my recommendation for people is really start focusing on one. Even if your goal is always to do, both or multiple things, get one really good, whichever one it is. And then once you've got the systems, the people, the process, everything in place for that business and things are going, that's what it was for me with Legion, was that by the time that I finally really felt comfortable to really go all in with Midi Money is because I had Legion Beats at a point where I did have the people, the process, the tools in place where I could only spend, an hour or two on that business a week to kind of just oversee things. But I had all that in place where I knew it was going to at least keep going. So that
yeah.
that's been my model, at least that's at least helped a little bit.
Yeah, I feel you. And that's like something that like I know like in the beginning, like it's so tough to to juggle, like even get one business up and running. Like I feel, the same with mine. Like after a decade, I feel like things are pretty like kind of consistent, with Omito Beats. Like I've been like for me personally, it's like, my sales month to month are pretty much on average every, month. So now I'm feeling like I gotta bring kind of something new to the table to mix it up, right? And now I feel like, it was almost like Omito Beats was growing and growing, and then it's still growing, but it's kind of like, I don't know, not hit its peak. But I'm just trying to figure out other things I can do now to push that needle further, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. And that's another challenge that comes up a lot is you do certain things to get you to a certain point, and then at a certain point those same things are not the same things that are going to get you to that next point. You got to figure out, okay, how do I level up? What is that next step? And it's not necessarily doing more of what you did. It's figuring out what
Yeah.
is that next thing.
Yeah, and that's been like, it's tough for me, but it's, I mean, cuz like the past like couple years, it's, I don't know, I haven't seen a whole lot of growth sales wise. Like some months are better than others in steady growth, but it's just trying to been like figuring out like, like I said, like how to move that needle further. But now, I mean, at least I'm at a point where it's like I kind of have something built that generates a certain amount of income every single month, right? It's pretty consistent.
Yeah.
So now I'm at the point where I can get a little bit creative and try different things. And that's what's I mean, that's what's exciting about it, right? Is that there's just, I could do something that has no results and then maybe try something else and it keeps working. So I capitalize on that. And it's just it's really just an ongoing guessing game, of trying to figure out
Yeah.
what works.
Yeah, no, for sure. And you're in a position that, so many producers would love to be in. And at the same time, I'm sure, like you said, you're figuring out how do I get to that next
Yeah.
step. So what is your what is your process now as far as those sales that are coming in? What's kind of your sales process? I know we talked a little bit about you've got some funnel stuff going on. I know you've got some beat store stuff going on. What's that kind of breakdown? What do those processes look like?
Yeah, for sure. So majority of my stuff is like my sales still comes from like beat sales, like beat leases, like through BeatStars or my website, or people hitting me up on like through Instagram. Is still number one for me. I'd say second is probably like custom production. Like I do a lot of like custom beats, or I have some artists that I work with, month to month, who they finish a beat and it's missing something, so they pay me to put that like Omito touch on it. So I guess that, and then like you said, I've done some funnel stuff, like being a member of Midi Money. I've learned a whole lot, and for me, I haven't been doing like the 5 free funnels type thing, just because I already have like an audience built. So instead, what I took away from that was, how can I how can I give more to my audience, right? Like, I mean, I know there's customers who follow me that, could use more Omito Beats. They want more Omito Beats stuff. So that's what I've been trying to figure out. And I'm actually just getting ready for a funnel launch that I do kind of a yearly type of thing, where I take all these unreleased beats that I've made throughout the year and I put them in one thing. And this year I'm giving out some online courses and some ebooks together with it. So that's kind of been been my focus. I know it's really a mixed bag of all these different little sources of income.
Yeah, no, I think that's how the game is played. You figure out, each little thing that works for you. We've certainly got multiple things going on. We do teach that sort of specific process as sort of like the foundation of,
Yeah.
a producer starting out, which because it has been the foundation for me, but it's definitely not everything. So something that I would look at as far as, okay, if you're at a little bit of a plateau, let's say, is looking at the 5 core functions of business. Something that I learned from a dude named Alex Sharfin, like incredible business coach. I recommend anybody go check out his stuff. But the 5 core functions are lead generation, then lead nurture. So basically, lead generation is like getting people on your list. Lead nurture is what's the process? How are you talking to those people to get them to step number 3, which is conversion, which is that where they actually pull out their credit card, they type in their PayPal info, they actually make a purchase. And then number 4 is fulfillment. So actually like fulfilling on the promise that you gave them when they gave you money, right? Delivering those beats, delivering those
Yeah.
products, those services, whatever. And then the 5th one is retention, resell, and upsell. And basically anything you're looking at, if you're looking to grow, if you're looking to, basically do anything, you just look at those 5 and see, okay, well, how am I doing on each of these and which one needs the most help? You know what I mean? And then now you can look at it in a really structured way, where before, I know for me, I would kind of be like, I want to be making more money. I want to be getting more customers, whatever. But once I looked at it like that, I was like, oh, okay. I see where the issue is. Like my lead generation is not good. I'm getting, 20 leads a day. I want to be getting 300 leads a day or whatever it is. Or, oh man, you know what? I think my fulfillment sucks. Like I've got this membership, but the members area is kind of garbage. Let me make this
Yeah.
better so that people, stay longer. And then my retention, resell, and upsell, are better. So I don't know, any of that ring true? Is there anything you can think of on yours that you're like, oh yeah, okay, that's why it's stagnant?
Yeah, I guess in just thinking about like, I was talking about how I did this funnel every year, and last year it in my opinion was like a total failure. I'd hit nowhere close to the numbers I was projecting, and I think like I missed out on a lot of those things that you said, right? And I mean, even just putting it in more like kind of basic terms, I think something that I missed out on last year when I had this funnel that flopped, and I've been trying to improve this year is a lot of my personal brand, something that helps me connect with my audience a lot more. And I've been trying to show myself a lot more on Instagram. And I mean, I have this funnel launching in literally just a couple days from now. So I'm kind of curious to see if, this year focusing on lots of stuff, like you said, is going to improve it at all.
Nice, nice. So are you growing like any kind of like early access list for that, or what's the promotion? What's the strategy? The launch look like?
Yeah, so I mean, this like I don't have a lot of like the early access. I had that last year. I had all these things, and it like I said, like it was a total flop. And I think the reason
Hmm.
was is because it didn't. Looking back on it, I don't think it had any personality in it. I think I was just like I
Interesting.
was so focused on like on the prize, right? I was so focused. I was like, okay, if this many customers buy this bundle, I'm gonna make this much money, and this is the goal, right?
Mm.
And then when I didn't like reach that goal, it was a tough time mentally, man, to you know have like basically the last quarter of last year were like my absolute worst month selling beats. And so it was really like discouraging, man. Played a really tough toll on me mentally. So this year I don't know how good or bad this is going to sound like business wise, but I'm taking a little bit more of a relaxed approach to it. I've kind of like ever since I had that failure, I've really taken a step or two back, especially at the beginning of this year, and where I've just been posting a lot of content, trying to get people familiar with my personal brand, my beats, see what I'm all about. And then I'm gonna try it again and get people to push that buy button. So I've been posting a little bit of stuff about it on Instagram here and there, trying to build up a list for it, trying to get people. But um, a lot of like I think sales that are going to come from are from people who are already on my mailing list, who are familiar with my beats. They know everything about me. They've shopped with me this year. And so when I tell them that I have this Black Friday big year end sale, fingers crossed it goes good, right? It'll be interesting to see how if a relaxed approach does anything good. But I've been working it like all year, just kind of in different ways.
Yeah. No, I think, man, okay. I think there's a few things there. One is just being willing to talk about the times that go well and the times that don't go well, I think is awesome.
Yeah,
Sometimes people want to hop on here and just talk about, oh, I did this, this, and this. And it's like, yeah, you did that, but I bet there was some things in between that didn't work. So I appreciate you talking
yeah,
about that. And I do think that there's a few things. There's definitely something about, the personal brand for sure, that connection. And I think what can happen is because it's easy to get caught up in the numbers, right? And I
yeah.
like to talk about the numbers because I think they can be inspiring. And to me, that's part of the fun of it. But
Same here.
here's
Yeah,
I think the problem can be if all we're looking at is the numbers, because now all of a sudden we're
yeah,
looking at numbers and we forget that we're looking at people, and then it becomes less about what's the value that I'm bringing these people, what's the journey I'm taking them on, and then it doesn't work anymore because I'm just like, I just want to see these numbers, and it's like, well, they don't care about your numbers, they care about what's in it for them, what's the result you can get them, what kind of exciting journey can you take them on, how can you build tension and excitement, and then
yeah.
release that with
Exactly.
a bam, let's go. So I think that that's really important. It's easy to get hung up on the
Yeah,
numbers in a bad way, as opposed to that's the numbers are the scoreboard, but like you got to play the game. If you're sitting there staring at the scoreboard, like shit's not going to
definitely,
happen. Like
man.
the
That's
shit happens while
exactly
you're
what I did,
playing.
man. I was just like, for like 3 months straight up, just staring at that scoreboard. And then when it came down to it, like, I don't know, it like I said, it was discouraging, but I guess it was good in a way because it, kind of forced me to take a step back. And then I'm excited. I'm putting a little bit of a less pressure on myself this year, but trying different things, seeing what works, and just kind of taking it a step at a time. But so far so good.
Yeah, and that you reminded me too. The other part of that too, I think, is the mindset of managing expectations. Being excited, I think, is great. But also, if somebody has unrealistic expectations, and then it doesn't reach that level, then it can be really discouraging. And sometimes people give up after that, or they're like, I
Yeah.
don't want to try that anymore. So I do think that that's important. And now that I think about it, because I love geeking out on the numbers and I celebrate it and whatever. We had a couple big launches that we just did, and it's awesome to
Yeah.
see those numbers. But every time, like even on these ones, right? We did this. We opened up our Black Friday pack early, and dropped that, and it was incredible. We did our early access list. We did like $10,000 in 10 minutes, and I think it was like
It's
35,000
crazy,
in the first day. And we still got
crazy.
another 2 weeks to go, and yeah, it was nuts. But what was interesting when I saw that happen, I realized that I had forgotten to set any kind of metrics or any kind of goals of what I was trying to accomplish. I was just
Yeah.
so focused in on how can we make this incredible? How can we build the tension? How can we make it exciting? How can we, you know what I mean? And then I got to see the numbers and I was like, oh, there's the scoreboard. Like, cool, this is incredible. Like now I'm going to talk about that. And I'm just, and I'm super excited about it. But I wasn't even really thinking about that until it happened. So I think maybe that's kind of the key, is just
That's
how,
the yeah.
how do you make it awesome?
Dude, that's the way to go, man. Because I think like about like when I first started selling beats, back 10 years ago, 10 and a half years ago, I was in ninth grade. I remember like, and I've told this story a lot of times when people ask how I started, but basically like in my first year of selling beats, I made maybe 250 dollars, right? But
Yeah.
it was just something like I absolutely loved. And I remember just like, I don't even know, it was almost like I blinked and 4 years later, I made 30K in a year. Like I just
Mhm.
like I didn't even realize. And I remember like I had a buddy who he like he was just asking me like what I was doing and stuff. And then I told him, I was like, yeah, I've made like 30K. And I like didn't even think about anything. And he was like, dude, that's like serious, man. Like this is like a real thing. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess you're right. And even the same with my YouTube channel. Like I remember like hitting a hundred subscribers and thinking that was crazy, and literally not even noticing again until I hit like 40,000. Like, and dude, I think that's like sometimes that's the way to go. Like I know like both you and I are we have so much involved in business, and playing with the numbers is cool, but sometimes, man, if you just keep those blinders up and just honestly just like put your heart into it and don't even care, like you said, you'll like that's what really, I think, like 4 years of legit just grinding, not even like caring about any sales, any numbers, like that's what set me up for years down the road, right? Help this thing turn into a decade long business right now.
For sure. And then also, if you aren't hitting whatever numbers you'd expected, whether it's YouTube subscribers or revenue or whatever, you're not even worried about it, because you're just you're just trying to create
Yeah.
value. You're trying to do the best, create the best product, the best content. And then you just look up at the scoreboard and you're like, oh, cool, I'm winning. All right, let me get back to
Yeah.
work. Let
Yeah,
me
so that's
celebrate, but
yeah.
let me get back to work.
Yeah, so that's what it's been for me with this year and this funnel launch. So it'll definitely be interesting, right? I mean, for me to see when I'm just like, because literally I have no expectations from it. I've done funnels in the past where I'm like, you know, kind of doing all these mini calculations, and like I was saying, like figured out like if this many people buy this, I'm gonna do this. And this year I'm running it, I'm launching it the day before Black Friday. I'm running it until the end of the year. I don't really know how it's gonna go, but I think I'm kind of excited for that randomness also too. I mean, because I've done like the full like thought out stuff and all this stuff, and I'm just excited to see what this one does on a day to day basis.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I think that that's the way to do it. And the part that I think should be planned out is, well, what is the customer journey? What is the first thing they see? The
Yeah,
second thing they see? How can
yeah,
I make an incredible offer? Right? All that
yeah,
stuff. And not worrying too much about, like you said, oh, I'm expecting, oh, well, if this many people, blah, blah, blah. But then, where I do like to geek out on the numbers, and I think it's fine, is now that thing's going and you have it open for a week or 2 weeks or a month or a year, however long, now start looking at those numbers and then saying, okay,
Yeah,
well, is this performing, up to the benchmarks that are realistic, are expected? And then if not, can I make little tweaks and changes, and how do I optimize from there? To me, that's like the healthy version of looking at the numbers, is once it's
definitely,
going,
man.
you know what I mean? Optimizing from there.
Yeah, because that's what I'm excited about. Because this is really like the first kind of funnel oriented thing I've done in a whole year, and after I had that funnel failure last year, I was taking a step back and then just kind of gearing up to give it another shot this year, and then going forward next year, I'm gonna see what worked better this kind of technique compared to the last one, and I've got plans for some other funnel stuff next year. But like you said, just like really see how this one does. Maybe after a week or two, kind of tweak it, make it better, and just honestly, just improve. Make the next day better than the last, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's where it really comes in. I mean, we had with this contest that we're running, that's the sort of the other launch that kind of is going for a little bit longer. We launched it, it's going really good. The conversions for the first thing that we were selling was great, a really, really high percentage. It was insane at first. It's come down a little bit, but it was something like, over 10%, which is really, really, really
Nice.
nuts.
Yeah.
But OTO number one, the first upsell, as soon as they click buy, they see the next page. Hey, how would you like to, here's another incredible offer, another beat pack. And that was converting at less than 10%, which is, I'd like to see that a little bit higher. And so then we looked at it. Well, how can we make it better? What can we do? So we added some more bonuses. We added a couple info products. We kind of tied it in better with the whole contest and everything. And now, since we've made those changes, I'm looking at it right now. That is actually up to 18%, from
Nice,
10% to
man.
18%, which is
That's awesome.
crazy, because that's, the total of, right now it's at about $6,000. Whereas if we hadn't made that change, it would be at, about 3,000 now, because it would be, instead of at,
Yeah.
basically 20%, it would be 10%. And now over the course of the next several months, as that goes, I mean, that's going to be, well over $10,000, just because we made that little change. So don't
Yeah.
sleep on making those tweaks as once it's launched.
Yeah, definitely. And like you were talking about the bonuses, I don't even remember in that last year that funnel that I had failure, like if it failed, or the one that failed, if I even had like good bonuses. I think in the past I've done kind of pretty lousy bonuses, but this new funnel that I'm launching, I'm pretty excited for the bonuses, honestly. And in a way, I'm kind of more excited for the bonuses just because like I haven't really done it before, and it's something like I think that people are going to just kind of continue to scroll through this landing page I have and just kind of get more and more excited as they scroll down. So no, I'm pretty excited about it.
That's awesome. And that's what we talk about, is creating a real offer where it's not just, okay, I could get beats pretty much anywhere, but
Yeah.
how can I, bring some other things in that create even more value, that solve more problems for my customers, my potential customers. What can you share what some of those bonuses are that you have in mind?
Yeah, for sure. So this one bonus actually comes from a mini online course series that I did. I think last year in the summer. It wasn't the funnel that failed, but I did this mini course. So I have all these like video courses. Legit, it's just me like sitting in front of a webcam, but I show people exactly like what I do on a day to day basis to market my music. So I talk about like how I make my YouTube ads, my Google ads. I show people like how I upload my music through DistroKid, because I know like a lot of producers know DistroKid. There's still a ton of artists that I work with who, you know, they send me their music and they just send it on like DatPiff or just a MP3, and I'm like, yo, send it to me on Spotify, right? So I do all these stuff about like walking people through Spotify and just basically all the marketing techniques that I do with my own beats, and I'm pretty excited for that. And then another bonus I have is this ebook that I wrote it just recently, but it's all about Instagram growth, which is a pretty kind of topic that's been a huge focus for me this year, especially leading back to the spring and when everything got shut down, because I shifted my focus from like a lot of beat sale focus to building my Instagram and trying to build a new audience that way. So, I mean, this like I got verified on Instagram about a year ago. I've been spending like $5 every day just on Instagram, just boosting my post. I've been learning a lot. I've been doing a lot with Instagram Reels recently. I've been getting like almost like over 100 followers a day on Instagram right now.
Nice.
So it's something I'm pretty excited about. It's definitely something that's like super super relevant to right now. So that's why I'm so excited. But yeah,
Yeah,
those
man.
those are two bonuses that I have that I'm really excited for.
That's awesome. No, it sounds like a great offer. I want it. You know, just you talking about it, which is the mark of a great offer, is you start talking about it and you're like, oh yeah, that sounds really
Yeah.
good.
I'm excited
Um,
because these offers like are they're really like about me, and I don't mean that in a selfish way, but these are some things that I've been passionate, and like you said, like people can find beats kind of anywhere online, but these are two bonuses that are like one is a series of 20 videos of me talking, like it's over like 6 hours long. It's like,
mhm.
where else are you gonna find a bonus? Like it's me talking, right? And another one, it's me talking about my own Instagram journey, which like I said, like it's just something I'm super passionate about. And I think this year a lot of people have like seen my face a whole lot on Instagram, whether it be in ads that I'm doing or posting, trying to post as many times in the week as possible. So I'm super excited for these bonuses I have.
That's awesome. Well, man, let's get into some of those Instagram gems that you've been doing, that you've been
Yeah,
experimenting with. It sounds like you've been having some success.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
tell
been
me about it.
good.
What have you been working on? What's been working?
Yeah, so I'll jump back to I guess when I really started to focus more on Instagram because I've had my Instagram for a while and I've done several growth hacking type of techniques years ago, but it hasn't really been something where I've had a core strategy until the spring, like March, when everything got shut down with COVID. I was just thinking, like, I was working with a couple artists like over email and they were gonna buy beats soon, and I had two people who were about to buy beats tell me that they were like their job just got shut down so they can't work. So I was just like I was just kind of I would feel like guilty, like telling people like, oh, buy these beats, buy these beats, buy these beats, when I know that people I'm working with like are telling me their situations. And it just like it broke my heart hearing that. So I shifted my focus and I was just like, okay, what I'm gonna do for now is just play the content game. I figure, all these people are out of jobs. Everyone's probably like at home, on their phone on Instagram. I want everyone to see me on Instagram, right? And I figured, what, maybe if my beat sales dip a little bit, maybe I can, still build an audience. And when, things get back to normal, I'll be able to, kind of grow my business from there, right? So I just wanted to build an audience on Instagram. And so legit, I was in the beginning, I was posting videos of me making beats, talking about my beats, just this really, I think, entertaining content. And I was trying to do it every single day. I think I was doing pretty consistently, like 6, 7 days a week for a few months, which, a lot, like that's a lot of content, right? It's a huge consistency. And then I partnered that, almost daily posting with uh, it's just a simple method, but just boosting my Instagram posts for like $5 a day. And then just I run it for like I set up a simple audience. I run it for 3 days. I know that like I could get super, detailed with the Facebook ads manager and stuff, but this was just a simple way where I could just boost the thing quickly for 3 days, put a little bit of new content. Um, and then come back in 3 days and see if it works. And if that one, didn't really work, try another one. And now, 6-ish months later or whatever we are now, I think over that, I've have a few posts that I knew if I boost, they'll get me like hundreds of followers. So I figured out like some posts that do really, really well. And I've been doing that. And another thing I've been doing recently is getting into reels on Instagram, which
Nice.
is
Hold on, my bad. I want to get into reels, but what
yeah.
what about those posts? What distinguished those posts that seem to bring people in as opposed to the ones that didn't?
Yeah, so the
Was there
ones
any
that
patterns?
I mean, a lot of the ones that were like really good, excuse me, where it was just me like jamming out legit just a MIDI keyboard, right? But I
Yeah.
think like people saw that, and I had like little annotations talking about like the beat I was making. And but I think what was really important was like making sure that those first couple seconds are super like interesting. Like something has to catch your ear. Like I have one
Mhm.
post and it's like my best performing post. It's this beat I have with a vocal sample, and the first like second just plays this like a cappella vocal sample. And I don't know, I think it just like it sparked a lot of attention for some people. So just posts like that. But I mean, it's nothing too complex. I mean, I have like some kind of animations, but I think really just people seeing myself. I think it's also helped a lot with the personal branding too. Just people remember what I look like now.
For sure. So the ones that seemed to work, it sounds like, was you playing, you kind of showing your face,
Yeah.
as opposed to, what do you remember? Was there some that seemed to not work? And do you remember what that content was?
I mean, well, on Instagram, like I've had content in the past where it's just like a picture of like Drake or like ASAP Rocky, and I just like post that with like a simple like visualizer, sometimes without even like a visualizer. So it's just like people scroll through and they see a picture of Drake. But I think this way it was just like it was entertaining for people to watch, and I think as more people kind of watched, it probably helps like my metrics a little bit. All these people are just like watching me like make a beat from scratch almost. So it's kind
Yeah.
of hooked people to watch the full thing.
Nice. Nice. No, that totally makes sense. And then what about Reels? You mentioned that you've been experimenting with Reels. How's that been going?
Yeah, Reels, like I've been focusing on it for just the past like 2 weeks maybe, but yo, it's been like really good, man. It's tough to figure out, and I've tried like getting into TikTok. Like I know it's like the exact same kind of thing, like TikTok a while, but I don't know. You can have like one video just kind of go viral and take off. And I've seen it happen with some buddies of mine. I have one video that got like over 50,000 views, and I posted it 2 weeks ago, and it still gets activity on it. Like that's what I kind of noticed about Reels was that I had a few posts on Reels, and then out of all the posts that I have on Instagram, it's like people would kind of still follow, like they would find those reels and they would comment on them even though I didn't post on them for 2 weeks. Like I would check my
Mm.
Instagram, and it was like a mix between people commenting on the post I just had and people commenting on like reels that I had posted 3 weeks ago. So it's such a new platform, and it's really like there's barely any like analytics and barely any data that you can get. But it's been good, and it's just been another thing where I just like, okay, I want to post on reels like every single day, so it's something that just like keeps me on schedule. Just is making me like push harder and harder on this new platform.
Yeah, no, I've been noticing it's working really well, and I think that that's just one little shortcut is anytime a platform rolls out a new thing,
Yeah.
like Instagram rolls out Reels, or when they first rolled out Stories, or first rolled out Live, any of that kind of stuff, they're gonna reward you with a ton of organic reach, because for
Yeah.
them, they're trying to win that game, right? So when like Facebook and YouTube and Instagram all kind of started doing live video around the same time, they all wanted to win. They wanted to be the live video platform. So they
Yeah.
want you to go to that platform because that's where you get the most engagement. It's just like for me when Snapchat was starting to really take off, and I was like, yeah, I guess I should get on Snapchat. And then Instagram, ripped them off, right? And created stories. And then I
Yeah.
started posting the stories, and I was posting the Snapchat, and my stories were getting way more views than my Snapchat. So I was like, all right, I don't need to do Snapchat, right? Which is exactly what Instagram wanted to do. So they're
Yeah.
they're using me, but I'm using them because I'm saying, all right, every time they come out with a new thing, now they're trying to beat TikTok. If you take advantage of it, that organic reach might go away in 6 months, a year, who knows, when they move on to the next thing, right? But right now, anytime they roll out something new, just jump on it because they're going to reward you with a ton of organic engagement.
Yeah, definitely. Well, especially now, because I think what did they do? They like changed like the one of the buttons on the actual layout. I don't know if it was like the likes or like the home button, but now it's like the center of focus on Instagram with this new update is literally reels. So you can tell like they're trying to get a lot of people. So I've been legit just like trying to learn the ropes. Like I didn't play the TikTok game a lot. So I'm learning how to make content like in 15 seconds, which is pretty hard. But I'm trying to learn it because I figure like okay, right now it's pretty similar to TikTok where all the videos are kind of based on your viewing history, but I know Instagram loves money, right? So like what happens if Instagram all of a sudden allows you to promote a reel? They don't allow you to do that yet. But dude, I'm just like dreaming of the day when they do it cuz I got some reels that have like already gone like kind of mini viral. Like I know they're working, so as soon as like they do some kind of feature and I can do something just to push it to that next level, I'm sure that would just like take off. But I've really just been like learning the ropes of it so far, and it's been good. It's been exciting.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. Of course, like you said, they love money. I'm sure they will.
Yeah,
I mean, they'll do whatever is going to maximize revenue. If they think right now, by not allowing people to do that, that it's going to feel more organic and people are going to enjoy
yeah,
it and they're going to come over to it, and then they can run ads to them. You know,
yeah. It'll get to that point, right? Like I know TikTok, like they've been kind of dabbling in the ads. I've never done ads there too, but I remember kind of looking at it when they were just rolling it out, and now I think they're doing it a lot more. So I know Instagram already has like that kind of system set up. So I'm waiting for the platform to get even better and better, but it's just I'm just kind of seeing where it goes right now. But it's been fun.
yeah, no, that's awesome. I'm sure they'll have that. And I just started looking at TikTok ads. I also started looking at Spotify ads, which I think could be an
Yeah,
interesting.
I've looked at
Have
a
you?
bit too. It's I mean, I looked at it for a bit, but it was kind of hard because you kind of have to don't you have to do like a voiceover? You have to be
Yeah.
like,
Well, they have different types of ads. They definitely have video ads. They definitely have voice
yeah,
ads. I don't know. They might have purely visual because I know, like, if you go like onto the desktop app or onto the web browser, maybe even on the app on the phone, they do
yeah,
have banners.
yeah,
So I think you can kind of do any combination. I think I just started looking at it, so honestly, I
yeah.
don't know much about it
It's
yet.
it's been a while. Like I think I looked at it like a year or two ago, and I remember it was only um like voiceover stuff. And I wasn't like super confident like as I am on camera now, so I didn't want to get there and be like, please go buy my beats at this website. Like I feel like that wouldn't work at all. Like I feel like it would be an interesting approach. And it's just like it's a whole different learning curve, I feel like.
Yeah, no, well, I'll keep you posted. I'll keep everyone posted as I look into it to see if it looks worth it. But it's definitely they've really expanded their ad platform to
Nice.
where it looks pretty cool. They got a ton of stuff. The targeting is interesting because you can target, for example, people who listen to a specific podcast. So that's
Yeah.
hey, if they listen to Producer Grinder, Blap Chat, or Midi Money, then maybe they're probably a producer. I don't know what would be the equivalent you think for a rapper or singer. Is there any like podcast that's like rappers and singers are listening to?
I'm sure that there's some. I
There's
don't know
gotta
any
be,
top, but
right?
I know that isn't there also a way that like you can target like playlists or albums or
Yeah,
like artists, right? Like,
that
I
too.
mean, so if you find like, I don't know, if everyone's listening to like an independent playlist, like I know that there's some that Spotify uploads like every week, but I don't
True.
know, like I guess that's another kind of thing you could target too, right? If there's some sort of playlist that all these like independent rappers are listening to and try and target that, it's
No,
I
that's
don't know, it,
super
it could get
smart.
pretty interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, and especially because a lot of those or some of them are probably run by, let's say, Dat Piff or a Hip Hop DX or
Yeah,
something like
something like
that.
that, right? Like
I bet those
DistroKid
ones.
has playlists too.
Oh, that's interesting.
That
Okay.
like they add like all the people who upload through DistroKid, or they select certain people who upload through DistroKid. So like people who
Mm,
are in that playlist kind of are familiar with the online game because they're uploading the music themselves through DistroKid, right?
that's another good one. All right, I like that.
Yeah, I gotta figure it out too. It's been so long since I looked into it, and I remember looking into it with the kind of objective of getting people to stream my music on those services. But it would kind of be
Mhm.
interesting to figure out a way to like drive people to a funnel or some sort of lead generation page too.
Definitely, definitely. That's what I'm looking at for sure is, on the
Yeah,
artist side is, directing them to like this contest we have going on or to, yeah,
yeah,
some free beats or whatever. And then on the producer side, hey, go check out this training or this lead magnet or whatever. So we'll see. I mean, I'm just looking at, Facebook ads is still at the moment going great, but it's also like you can get your ad account shut down so easy. It's always been that
I've
way.
heard, yeah, it's
Oh,
always
and
like
I've
sometimes you do something, it just like it, it
and
screws everything.
sometimes you do nothing. I mean, it's bad.
Yeah.
So like I've made it up until a few days ago without getting an ad account
Did you
getting
get
shut down.
shut down?
My whole business manager got shut down. So all my ad
No,
accounts,
man.
everything.
Jeez.
Luckily, I was able to hop on to Adrian's on the Anno Dominis. His
Yeah.
ad account is still there. And so, Facebook don't listen. I signed in as my girlfriend. And then because even my personal account was banned from running ads from any business manager. So you can be banned in like 10 different ways. You can have your ads
Why
account,
like
your business manager, you like your personal Facebook. It's crazy. So
why do you
luckily
think
we're
it got
able to
shut
kind of make it
down?
work. Bro, it's all this little stuff. I mean, they are going more and more on the side of just being safe, right? So anything, especially
Yeah.
with the elections, anything that has
Oh,
to do
true.
with
Yeah, yeah.
employment, they don't care, and a lot of it's really automated, and they would rather just shut you down and then review it over the course of the next couple of weeks, and maybe they bring you on, and
Wow.
maybe they don't. So it's just so like flimsy in a way. It's still incredible. Like, just this launch that we did
Yeah.
a week ago, we've already spent, I think, like, I don't know, 14 or 15,000. We've made like 22 or 23 back. So it's like,
Nice.
it's hard to beat that, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it could be taken away so easily. So I'm just looking at all these different ad platforms. What are the, making sure that we're solid if the day comes, and I'm sure it will eventually, when Facebook ads just suck or we just can't use them anymore. So that's why I'm
Yeah,
looking more
no,
into like TikTok and Spotify and all this other
that's what
stuff.
I've been like trying to do, like on the personal brand side, just like
Hmm.
because like you said, I've always thought like I do so much. I've always done like so much like sales from YouTube, and that's like the platform I grew up on. But what if something just happens and like YouTube like shuts down my account, right? Or like the algorithm just like hates me all of a sudden, right? So that's why I've been focusing on like my personal brand, because I want people to kind of get familiar with me on any platform I'm on. So if like even like if a new opportunity comes up like Reels, I can kind of drive all my content there and figure that. But yeah, that's why it's so important to be on on all these different platforms just in case that day comes.
Yeah, and it always does. The day always
Yeah.
comes. These
Yeah.
social media platforms, they're always evolving. They're always changing. The algorithms change everything. So yeah, having that, the personal brand is huge because that comes with you no matter where you go. And then also having that list that you own, right? The emails, the phone
Definitely.
numbers,
Yeah.
the things that you can actually take with you that aren't platform specific. I mean, that's huge. That's the reason, the when we opened up the beat pack that we did last Sunday, when we opened it up, we did that $10,000 in 10 minutes. That was no paid traffic. That was completely off of email and SMS. That was it, because we
Nice.
had that direct connection with those people, and nobody can shut us down from that. We can take our emails and go from active campaign to get response to wherever, phone number, same thing. We're on
Yeah.
this one called Yeti Text. We can take it over to Simple Text, or wherever we want to. That to me is really the game. But you're right, personal brand is the other thing that nobody can take from you.
Yeah. I think too, just like being able to pivot, like if something doesn't work and something stops working, shift it up, right? I think like one of the reasons I've been able to literally like be in the game for over a decade now has just been because I'm constantly doing new things, right? Like I used to make like these aggressive trap beats, and they stopped doing as well as some of my pop beats, so I started making pop beats. And right now I'm making like these indie rock like style beats, right? But it's doing good. I've always just been open to literally like, I don't know, and that's like what I love about what we do, is that we can like literally just change up anything, right? And see if it works.
Yeah, no, that's part of the it can be, but it's part of the fun too, is just always
Yeah,
looking for those new opportunities and knowing that, hey, this thing that you've built on this platform, it's probably not going to be around forever, but you can still take the skills that you learned and then apply them to the
definitely.
new platform, the new genre, the new whatever it is.
Yeah, it's all just
um
everything's a learning experience, right? And the more you learn, definitely the more you can grow in just so many different ways.
Yeah, no, definitely. So what's next? What do you got coming up that you're excited about? I know you got the unreleased pack coming up. Anything else kind of on the horizon?
Yeah, I mean the funnel is definitely the big like kind of conclusion to this year, and that's kind of what I've done the past 3 years now. So that's always exciting. Going into 2020, I want to do or 2021, not 2020 again. Please, God, no.
No.
Going into the new year, I think I want to do a lot more like courses and just more helpful stuff. Like I was on a BeatStars podcast just a couple weeks ago, and all these people were saying like, I don't want to sound like cocky, but all these people were like, how'd you get so comfortable with speaking in front of a camera? And it's something like I've worked on through several vlog attempts and podcast attempts of my own. And I love talking about, music, and, from 9 to 5 every day, it's legit just me. So having some platform to talk to is something I want to do. So I think I want to do a lot of courses for both music producers and artists. I think I've really kind of been this past year, especially developing my own kind of sound and production style. Even though, like anyone, who knows my music will know I'm super diverse, and every single day I'm making a different genre of beat, but it's kind of all unique. And I think it really has like my own personal touch. And there's, these specific ways I go about making beats. So I want to try getting into courses like more for producers, because I haven't gotten into a producer course yet. I did an artist one that had a lot of fun with. So I want to do stuff like that and just kind of help people. And I love like, building courses, setting up different video angles, doing all that stuff. So I think that I'm going to be, really learning a lot from this funnel that I'm about to launch in a few days. Gonna spend the rest of the year like, tweaking it, trying to figure out what's been working compared to previous funnels. And going forward into the new year, just try a lot of courses. And I don't know, another thing I have in mind too is kind of, I want to do something different every month, like a mini project. So maybe one month I do like this mini course, and maybe another month I do a mini course for producers or something. So just I just want to try a whole bunch of different things really in the new year and see what works.
Love it. Love it. That's part of the fun. Just experimenting with all the different stuff. It's the game we get to play. And yeah, as far as like
Yeah.
courses and stuff and teaching is something that I've really mostly got into in the past year or so. And I love it. It's a different type of fulfillment. It's a different, it's awesome to do the stuff on your own and get it done and whatever, get the sales or whatever it is. But then when you can teach other people to do that, and then you see, the success they're I mean, right before this, I just got off a call or off a live stream with Temper Beats, and they just did this whole giveaway that led up to this launch, and so I got to hop on for part of that launch.
Nice.
It's like it's so cool to see, like, oh yeah, like he's modeling after the sort of formula that we've done of that giveaway, and he's using the funnels and the scripts and a lot of the stuff, and really making his own and making it incredible.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's dope, and so it's just so fun. It's another level. Whereas like I used to have a little bit of the mindset where I'd see, I've a lot of people would copy what I've been doing for a while. It's just I
Yeah.
get it.
It
And so, but it used to be kind of annoying, and now it's like now I love it. Now I'm proud. Now
Yeah.
it's like yes, come on over. I'm going to show you everything I do. Let's go. Let's do it together. So I think that I think you're on the right path there with the
Yeah.
courses and stuff. It's fun.
Well, I think like, you and me, like I know we've been in the production game for a while, and I think back to when I like started, like, there was like nobody helping out each other. Like everyone was like so kind of like scared that other people would take other people's sales. Like you asked someone like what, like, oh, is that a sample in your beat? And they would like hate you for that. They're like, no, I'm not giving out any secrets. And
Yeah.
it's so interesting, for me, like literally having my beats and being in this game for 10 years, is seeing really just a huge like culture shift from people like, so protective over everything, right, to now like people are like sharing like their strategies, collaborating on like even Instagram videos, like even like, YouTube videos. Like I just saw like, I think like Ed Talenti and Kyle Beats and these other guys just started like some mini like beat contests. And that just like it blows my mind, because like, dude, when I was starting out, like, no one wanted to share secrets with anyone, right? Like it was like you would like make sales and you'd be like so worried if anyone would take that from you. But it's exciting to see like other people around you winning, and that's like it's so awesome, like seeing that in the producer community right now.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And the truth is, aside from just, hey, you should just be happy for people winning because that's it's just a nice thing to do. Like the reality is it's good for business. Like, using the
Yeah.
example of Temper again, we're affiliates for each other's stuff. So I'm letting my audience know about what he's got going on. He's letting his audience know about what we've got going on. And so we're both generating more revenue than we would have. We're both creating more value for our audience. Same thing with Wish and now I've been doing this with Anno Domini for a while now, where we're able to share that audience. It's not like, oh no, like now you got that sale. It's like, no, like together we're actually going to bring even more
Yeah.
value and make even more money. It's actually good for business to share those secrets and get, and create this community of other producers. It used to be, bro, I used to reach out. I'm sure this, conversation that we've had in the past where I'm like, I'm going to do this little Black Friday launch. I think it's going to be great. It would just be crickets. Nobody would reply. No producers were
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm not going to wait. You want me to send my customers to you? Like, hell no. And now it's a little different. They're like, oh, okay, Gabe, he's the guy who makes money. All right, I guess maybe I'll try it. I still don't really get
Yeah.
it, but at least there's some progress there. And I think there is, beyond that, a little shift, like you said, in that mindset in general, which I think is awesome because it literally is better for everybody.
Yeah, definitely. And dude, it's something like that. I'm still like, cause I'm still kind of used to the old ways, like a little bit, right? Cause I feel like, had so many people like that I've, like you said, tried to reach out to in the past and just seen so many like people like always keep to themselves. So, definitely like, I just want to figure out more ways that I can, like you said, like partner up with other producers and, just learn from other people too. It's like every time like, you and I have had a conversation, like I walk away from it and I'm just like, man, I'm so pumped. I just learned so much stuff, right? And it's just like, I mean, there's so much value in collaborating, right? Like I said, I produce like I work by myself. Like I'm here like in this studio room, like literally like 9, 10, like 12 hours in a day, right? It's just me, so it's always great to figure out something to do with some other like-minded people. It's always exciting.
Definitely, definitely, and yeah, I love seeing it, shift more and more. And it still is frustrating for me because there's still a lot of producers, and it's mostly the ones that have been in the game for a little bit longer that are
Yeah.
so precious about their brand. Like, oh, well, I can't be an affiliate and send somebody to your offer. Like my precious little list and my precious little brand, like it would ruin me forever. And it's like, bro, chill out. First of all, you're not that special, and second of all, you're gonna get those people are gonna get more value from it. You're gonna make
Yeah.
more money. Like calm down. So anyways, it's been frustrating, but it's
Yeah,
it's
no.
it's shifting,
I know what you mean.
which I'm happy about. And I think also as over time, over the next couple of years, because I think this newer generation that is coming up now, it's just normal. You look in the Midi Money group, all these guys who are doing launches, they're all affiliates for each other because that's the model that we're teaching, that we're learning,
Yeah.
is like that's how to win. And so they're just like, yeah, of course I want to. Like, please, let's do it. So that I'm excited about that new generation that's all in on collaborating. It's fun. It's good for
Definitely,
everybody.
man. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, man. Well, shit. Man, before we wrap up here, what's kind of the best way for people to find you? What you got coming up, and anything else that you'd want to share before we get out of here?
Yeah, I'd say just the best, like the platform I'm most active on is Instagram, at Omito Beats, Omito Beats. I'm literally like on that platform like all hours through the day, replying to messages, posting stuff. So, and yeah, like whenever I post, new updates about, funnels I'm doing or courses or videos or just cool stuff, I always post in my story. So, Instagram is the best place just to stay updated with me.
Awesome, bro. Always a pleasure to speak to you. Appreciate you taking the time to hop on, and
Always, man.
man, best of luck on the launch and everything else.
Thanks, man. It's always great to chat with you, bro.